passing and doing well with your prose, drama, and poetry essays. Thank you very much. If you've been enjoying the lessons, it's good to be here. In my last lecture, I helped you to see how to write suitable introductory paragraphs. I actually told you that as a promise that I'm going to help you to see sample presentations of each of these genres of literature by taking a look at sample examination questions. So you're here at the right time because we are going to do just that. Today we want to consider prose, specifically African prose. Our question will be on second-class citizen. If you are ready, then please subscribe and like the video. Let's look at the question of the day. Examine the significance of Ade's marriage to the development of the plot. Examine the significance of Ade's marriage to the development of the plot. What would you do? What would be the approach? And how will you end up writing a suitable introductory paragraph? That is my concern. What will you include in this introductory paragraph to make it a suitable one? Well, from our previous knowledge, the first thing we need to do is to relate a theme, which is the central idea that you, the candidate, you see to be connected to the question. So what is that theme that you think is connected to this question? Is it a theme of racial discrimination? That is a theme, but may not be appropriate. You might be thinking about maybe marriage. What do you think? So in this context, you can talk about marriage. Then the next thing you can talk about might be the definition of marriage. Then you now define once again a very key literary term in the question. Did you identify that? That's plot. Plot in literature is different from plot of land, a parcel of land that your daddy or your mommy has purchased. That's not what is of concern here. Then you now know that you need to answer the question. There should be a sentence that shows that you want to talk about the significance, that word, significance. Even though you don't need to explain it, there should be a sentence that explains what you mean. So for our introduction not to be too long for this question, we will separate those things we have mentioned from the introduction of the character. We will now send the introduction of the character, Ada, which we must talk about, to the next paragraph. Mind you, in marking literature in English papers, candidates earn marks. They are not gifted marks. So your introductory paragraph, when you put in all those points that we have mentioned, if you're able to put them in a very nice sentences into your paragraph, the examiner who is awarding marks will be ticking. Okay, he sees that you have related a theme that is connected to the question. Tick. Has a candidate been able to define marriage and plot? Tick. Has he or she been able to write a sentence that is like a thesis statement that is concluding that paragraph, showing that he or she is answering the question? Tick. Let's illustrate it this way. So with the question, I might be expecting a candidate to write something similar to this. This is just a sample presentation. This could be proven to be a good one or a bad one. You are judged it for yourself. So let's look at this example. I could say, one of the most important themes that is portrayed in second-class citizen is marriage, full stop. Take note, my dear candidate, that second-class citizen is a proper noun. Therefore, whilst writing second-class citizen, the second must start with initial capital letter, class, initial capital C, but there should be a hyphen between second class and citizen must also take what? A capital letter. The second sentence now will now be definition of marriage. So I expect you to say, for instance, marriage is defined as a culturally and often legally recognized union between people called spouses. Third definition, third sentence is a definition of a key literary term in the question, plot. The examiner would like to know if you really have been a student of literature in English and you are going to, as it were, teach on paper. So the definition of plot, what is plot in literature? There may be different definitions, but I want to go for the simple one, or an explanation which is simple. So I can say plot is the sequence of events in a story. The manner in which the events have unfolded in the story is termed as sequence. So please write only one of them. Please, in this case, avoid the temptation of entry into marriage as a definition, because the theme is not, or the question is not about only discussing marriage. This is not social studies. The question is not asking you to develop only the theme of marriage. Do you get it? The question is about the discussion of the significance, the relevance of the marriage of Ada to the development of it. You get what I mean? So the second paragraph now, unlike the previous example where you can now introduce the character in the first paragraph, here, for your paragraph not to be too long, bring the character analysis to the second paragraph, where you tell us something briefly about Ada. Maybe you can say, Ada Ophili is the firstborn of her parents. She is a protagonist of the novel Second Class Citizen. She is born in Lagos, but raised in Ibuza. Ada is an ambitious child who has to fight for her formal education, defying all the odds and struggles to pay her way through scholarships and labor, and becomes the first female of her land to travel to the United Kingdom, her dream promised land. She's married to Francis Obi and becomes mother to Titi and other siblings. Ada's marriage to Francis plays very significant or crucial role to the development of the plot of the novel. Period. If you did enjoy what I have discussed, please put it into practice. Take the second question which I gave you, or you want a trial question. If you want a trial question, then let's look at this one. Comment on the relevance of the events that lead to Ada's exodus to the United Kingdom. Try your hands on this question by writing a suitable introductory paragraph and show it to the next person beside you or your teacher to help you. Thank you very much for joining me on this video as well.